Why do certain patterns, negative emotions, or self-sabotaging behaviors seem to relentlessly persist, no matter how fiercely you resist them? Carl Jung, the profound Swiss psychiatrist, offered a stark, timeless answer to this deeply human, frustrating conundrum. He declared with unsettling clarity, "What you resist not only persists but will grow in power." Born in 1875, Jung's life spanned an era of immense societal upheaval and intellectual ferment in Europe. His early work with Sigmund Freud was groundbreaking, exploring the hidden landscapes of the unconscious mind. Yet Jung found Freud's focus too narrow, too fixated on repression and infantile sexuality as sole drivers. He yearned for a broader understanding of the psyche, one encompassing spirituality, mythology, and collective human experience. This intellectual divergence led to a painful, public break from his mentor, a pivotal moment in his career. Following this, Jung underwent a profound personal crisis, a deliberate descent into his own unconscious world. For years, he grappled with visions, fantasies, and dreams, meticulously recording them in his now famous Red Book. From this intense inner journey, Jung forged his unique insights into the shadow, archetypes, and the collective unconscious. He understood that refusing to acknowledge parts of ourselves doesn't make them vanish. It merely banishes them to the shadows. Now, in an age of constant external validation and curated personas, Jung's wisdom is more vital than ever. We often suppress our true selves, our flaws, our uncomfortable truths, in pursuit of an ideal image. But this self-deception, this resistance, creates internal friction, manifesting as anxiety, stagnation, or unexplained frustration. Jung's core idea of resistance centers on what he termed the shadow, the unacknowledged, repressed aspects of our personality. This isn't inherently evil, but comprises all the traits, impulses, and emotions we deem unacceptable or undesirable. Perhaps it's your anger, your jealousy, your laziness, or even your hidden creative ambition you've denied. We push these parts into the subconscious, believing they will simply disappear, but they don't. They fester. Imagine a forgotten attic in your mind. You rarely visit it, but its contents still influence the house's foundation. This unaddressed shadow then begins to exert its influence, often subtly, sometimes catastrophically, from beneath the surface. It manifests in repetitive self-sabotaging behaviors, unexplained mood swings, or a persistent feeling of discontentment. But how does one even begin to face a shadow so deeply hidden, so long denied? The first step, Jung argued, is awareness, to acknowledge what you instinctively recoil from within yourself. Consider the historical example of artists who, denying their raw, unconventional urges, lived stifled, unfulfilled lives. Their creative shadow, resisted and suppressed, often manifested as bitterness or destructive habits in other areas. A contemporary parallel is the pervasive online phenomenon of projection, where we see our denied traits in others. When you find yourself intensely irritated by someone's arrogance, consider if a part of you secretly yearns for that boldness. Or if another's perceived weakness triggers your disdain, examine your own discomfort with vulnerability. These powerful emotional reactions are often signposts, revealing aspects of your own unacknowledged shadow. Jung believed that, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. This isn't about embracing destructive impulses, but understanding their origins and integrating them constructively. For instance, suppressed anger, when acknowledged, can transform into healthy assertiveness or a catalyst for change. Your perceived weakness might, in fact, be a profound capacity for empathy or an authentic openness to connection. The resistance often stems from a fear of what acknowledging these parts might mean for our identity. We fear losing control or becoming the very thing we despise should we open that Pandora's box. Yet paradoxically, the more we resist, the more power these suppressed elements gain over our daily lives. They become the unseen hand guiding our choices, subtly influencing our relationships, careers, and inner peace. Jung's own journey through the Red Book exemplifies this courageous confrontation with the unknown within. He didn't just observe his unconscious, he actively engaged with it, conversing with its figures and symbols. This wasn't a descent into madness, but a disciplined, terrifying, yet ultimately liberating process of self-discovery. He emerged with a profound understanding of the human psyche, shaping modern analytical psychology forever. Consider the story of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Jekyll, a respectable physician, vehemently resisted his darker impulses, pushing them deeper into his unconscious. This repression didn't eliminate them. It gave them a separate, monstrous life, eventually consuming his entire being. His resistance persisted and ultimately grew in power, perfectly illustrating Jung's powerful axiom. What if Jekyll had acknowledged his shadow? Could he have integrated his less savory aspects without becoming enslaved by them? This active engagement is not easy. It demands courage, honesty, and a willingness to sit with discomfort. But the alternative is a life where unseen forces dictate your reactions, keeping you from true self-mastery. Embracing your shadow doesn't mean becoming bad. It means becoming whole, integrated, and authentically powerful. It's about understanding the full spectrum of your human experience, not just the parts deemed socially acceptable. When you stop resisting, the energy previously spent on suppression becomes available for conscious, constructive action. You gain insight, self-compassion, and the profound freedom that comes from knowing yourself completely. The shadow, once a hidden enemy, transforms into a source of untapped wisdom and personal power. So, how do you practically apply Jung's wisdom to the relentless challenges of modern life? First, practice radical self-observation. Notice what triggers intense emotional reactions within you. Is it a colleague's success, a partner's perceived flaw, your own procrastination? Look inward, not outward. Second, confront your projections. When you judge others, ask yourself, where might this trait exist in me? This isn't self-blame, but an honest inquiry, a courageous step towards owning your entire psychological landscape. Third, engage in mindful acceptance. Instead of fighting these uncomfortable truths, acknowledge them with curiosity. What wisdom does this shadow hold? What energy is trapped here, waiting to be integrated into your conscious self? This is about you. This is the path to transforming internal resistance into an unstoppable force for growth. The profound truth Jung illuminated is that resistance is not a wall, but a signal. It points directly to the very parts of yourself that yearn for integration, for your conscious attention. To master yourself, you must first master the art of non-resistance, of conscious engagement with your inner world. True strength isn't found in denial, but in the courageous embrace of your entire, complex human being. The path to self-mastery is paved with the shadows you dared to illuminate, not the ones you perpetually hid. When you cease resisting your shadow, it ceases its resistance to you. It becomes an ally. You unlock a deeper authenticity, a profound resilience, and an inner peace previously unimaginable. This is the alchemy of the soul, transforming what you once resisted into your greatest source of power.